research hope. This is kind of the hope that is to strive to be better and being cognizant of the tension between what is, what was, and what could be. This is the kind of hope of having a goal and a pathway to that goal and the motivation to do so. This is the kind of hope that anchors me in the classroom when I teach at my university. This is the kind of hope that confronts unjust systems through meaningful dialogue and empathic responses. I research hope because most of the time I live in despair. And this is the kind of despair that is full of sadness. And when I'm in this hole, I'm not sure how to get out of it. But I've been there countless times. And so that leads me to think, I know a way to move through it. But the collective of heaviness of the world often overwhelms me. In light of my own depression and despair, when I returned from my 3-month Rotary Peace Fellowship, I started my card campaign on my personal Facebook page. I wrote on the page, I don't know about you, but there's a little voice of madness in me that thinks I can wrap my arms all around you. And its name is hope. And that voice wants to tell you that you matter. You are important and valued. And you are not alone. You are loved, admired, and wanted by me. And I also wrote that madness has a twin, and their name is despair. And I suppose that we all need a little despair to educate our hope, to make sure we prioritize what is important. And I wrote, if you are in that hole of despair, I have a ladder. No doubt I've used it countless times, and perhaps I'll need to use it very soon. And if you invite me, I'm happy to come down and sit with you and be with you. I won't fix anything. I'll just be with you. I'm a counterphobic, and that is someone who runs towards fears in the hopes of overcoming it. And mine is rejection and not being enough. And the fear of living in my own depression threw me forward to do something that I feared the most, being vulnerable. And so I chose the medium, a permanent marker and watercolor, because both are uncontrollable to an extent. And also, I've never seen myself as a drawer or a painter. I never thought that I was very good at it. And so, in light of that, I also chose to show the process of my drawing, to deal with my own fear of rejection. The act of giving the card to people that I love, strangers, or just folks who need some encouragement, helped me understand how to love, how to hope, and what it's like to be just enough. And yet, people will see that my feelings of self-doubt, self-disappointment, and despair show all the way through my drawings. And it's because I recognize how little I know. And I recognize the stories of collective loss, hope, and adversity. And so, I drew pictures for my community that supported me. I drew pictures for people who are dealing with their own demons of not being enough, physical ailments such as cancer, depression, and sickness. I drew pictures for people who needed encouragement because their life appeared to be falling apart. I drew pictures because that's the only thing I could do at the moment. I also posted pictures of my own demons. I posted pictures of what I've been meaning to say to people, but my depression leaves me voiceless. I drew pictures of people that I deeply admired, and then I wrote little comments to help other people understand why we should admire this particular person. My cards are cards for others, but selfishly they're also to myself. They're self-affirmations to myself because these days I deeply want to give up. Hope. Hope is innate. It's an ontological need. And to embody hope is knowing someone like my Uncle John. For a post-polio survivor, almost 80 years old, he knows what a global virus can do to a body. But he also has shown what a virus can't stop him from doing, which is going to college, being a high school history teacher, and living independently and fighting for disability rights. Hope is being still, staying in the space as long as you can so the person can share their own story. Hope is a reflective process. It is an opportunity to reconcile identities and restore agency. Everyone hopes, and those who hope deeply are often who travel through the sea of despair and come out on the other end and tell us about it. And my brother Josh wrote me, "Staci, remember you were never unwanted. You had 4 people wanting you even before you were born." And for me, as an adopted child, hope is recognizing that there are far more people that you may know or not know that love you. That you are more than enough, and that you will see yourself the way most people see you. Complex, beautiful, and imperfect. When hope appears as a collective group of people, we can bring our own hopes, desires, and skills to feed that despair. And bringing all different perspectives, cultures, identities, and experiences, we can indeed make meaningful changes. And yet, despair also informs us, and we need to listen to it. When we recognize that we play a vital part in co-creating these spaces of hope, we can think of more in collective terms. A co-researcher of mine said, "Staci, it's not hope for me, but it's hope for my family. It's hope for everyone." I research hope. I research despair. And in researching, I've found that whatever you have to offer is significant. And there will always be someone who needs what you can give. And so if you need a card or know someone who needs a card, contact me. You, the act of asking me, reaching out, you have embodied that hope that we all need. Thank you.